Hi everyone, welcome back to another video from Disciples of Allion. So today we're going to take a closer look at the mentoring system, and this video is actually aimed at three kinds of people. It's going to be aimed at you guys who are really new and just now set foot on planet Calypso or wherever you decide to start. And the second group of people we're talking about is the ones who have been trying to graduate for a while and are not entirely sure about what you can expect. And the third group of people are the other mentors out there and all of you who want to help your disciples. So if you have a disciple and you want to share this video, go ahead. I won't stop you. So let's take a closer look at the actual video at hand. Alright, so for the different chapters that we'll cover here, we're going to start with chapter 1, which is going to be about the different disciple armors that you can get when you graduate on the different planets. Alright, so you can choose one planet to graduate on, and there's a different reward for each and all planets. Or some share the armor, but there are 5 different types of armors. And we're going to take a look at the requirements that you need to fulfill in order to graduate, and especially how to get the skills to graduate. Now, for the second chapter, we'll go ahead and take a look at a feature I was unaware of until I myself had graduated, which is the mentor register. So I'm going to show you guys how to use that. And in the third chapter, as you can see, we're going to talk about what you can expect from a mentor. Now, keep in mind, this is my personal opinions and from my experience. So you do take this with a pinch of salt if you're a mentor, because each to their own. We mentor in our own way, but I think we owe it to the new players to help them get into the game. And when we look at chapter 4, we'll take a look at what I think that mentors can expect from their disciples. At least what I expect from you, if you're my disciple. And when we take a look at chapter 5, we're going to take a look at when you yourself can become a mentor and what the rewards of mentoring are. Because let's face it, this is a program that is designed to make old and new players interact. It's supposed to make Entropia a community. Because without interaction, this is not a multiplayer game, this is a single player game. So let's get into it. Now, the rewards that you can choose from, and I say choose because you can choose what planet you're gonna end up on, is one of 5 armor sets. Now, if we take a look at the most common one, this one, it is the Pixie Adjusted set. Now, this one is acquired by graduating on planet Calypso, on Monria, or on planet Entropia. Now, the second one I want to take a look at here is the Toulon graduation armor, which is the Reefy armor set. And that one is acquired by going to Toulon and graduating there. You can do the last few % if you want, but I'm gonna cover one part in the end of this. After the Reefy armor set, we're gonna take a look at these two, which is the same armor set. It's Atlas and Atlas Male. So Atlas Female and Atlas Male, because they have different designs. So Next Island are kind of unique to that. And they are from this planet over here. Now, if we take a look down here, we have the Musca armor set. And this is the armor set that you get from graduating on planet Arcadia, Arcadia Moon, or I believe Arcadia Underground as well, probably. And the last one we'll take a look at is this blue armor right over here, the Cyrene Disciple armor. And that one is acquired by graduating over here on planet Cyrene, of course. Now, one very important thing that I learned when helping people graduate is that in order to get these, you don't just need to fly to the planet. You need to relog once you're on the planet, shut down the client for Entropia universe and open it up so it starts with the client for that specific planet. Otherwise, you're gonna end up with the armor of the origin planet where you first set off during the day. So if you leave from, say, planet Calypso and fly to next island and you graduate on next island, but you did never relog, then you will get the pixie armor adjusted, and that's going to be a disappointment if you wanted the Atlas armor. So do keep that as a reminder. Relog once you get there. But what is required to graduate? So let's take a look at this. We have these achievements right over here. We have hunt with your disciple. We have mine or disciple crafting. Now, these 3 achievements are required for you to graduate. You can reach 100%, but if you haven't done any of these, you won't graduate. So the only one you actually require your mentor to be in a team with is the hunt with a mentor. The other ones you can do on your own if you would like. Those are more solitary activities, so to say. Now that we've covered the different types of achievements we need to graduate, let's take a closer look at the different skill gains required to graduate. So we have 3 different skills that we focus on when we graduate, and that is anatomy, geology, and engineering. And please do keep in mind that it's only natural gains that are counted towards the progress of discipleship. And that is basically if you choose to chip in engineering via a skill ship, it will not count towards the disciple progress, even if it's a 100-ped ship. And when it comes to the codex, I believe that also counts as a chip in, because you get ped value of skills into your character. With that covered, we're gonna take a closer look at the different ways to gain anatomy, geology, engineering. And there's actually 5 different ways to gain these skills. So let's take a look here. So in this first video, you'll see me shooting a level 100 Wiles. And one thing I believed earlier on was that you gain anatomy while killing creatures. That is not the case. You gain anatomy while using your tool for the profession. In this case, it's the weapon. So as you can see, I did not kill it right now, but I still gain anatomy while shooting at it. The same goes for this profession, the taming profession. When I use my whip, I have a chance to gain anatomy since I'm using my tool for the profession. And this is why I wanted to show you guys this, because I've always thought, okay, graduation is only by hunting, but it's also by taming. So if you feel like taming when you're still a disciple, do not feel discouraged or deterred from it. Please give it a go. It's a different kind of gameplay. You don't fight the health bar, you fight the taming bar of a mob. And the last one for anatomy is actually why I recommend people not to use armor when hunting when they are graduates. Because as you can see here, when I heal myself, I gain anatomy. So that's one of the more important lessons here when hunting as a new player. Do not feel like you're losing something by using a heal tool. It's actually a skill gain potential. So basically, when you go ahead and you just take damage like this, if you were to have a armor on, you would still get decay on the armor. so it would still cost you to repair, but you would never gain any skills on it. However, when you use a healing tool to basically repair your health, you gain anatomy, since that's included in the healing profession. Now, for the second one we're looking at here, it's the geology. And as you can see here, I have both ore and Enmatter selected. But here's the really important part. You only get geology if you have ore selected. So if you're mining for Enmatter, you will never graduate because you do not gain geology. You only gain surveying through mining for Enmatter. Right, so now that we're looking at the third and final skill, it is the engineering skill. Now, the standard way that I got it explained to me was that you get it from crafting. That is only one of the ways that you can get engineering. The other way that you as a new player most likely won't be familiar with is through repairing vehicles. Now, this is why you usually see people repairing vehicles at, for instance, Camp Icarus for free, because they gain engineering on it. And engineering is a rather valuable skill to many crafters. And so is it to you as a disciple if you're trying to graduate via going to the crafting system. Right, so now that we've looked at the anatomy, the geology, and the engineering, let's go on to the second chapter, which is how you as a new player go about to actually find your very own mentor. Let's take a look here. Alright, so now that you know about all the skills you need and the achievements and such, let's take a look at how you find a mentor. And one way you can do it is by holding down the right-click mouse button and you go to System and Mentor Register. Now here you can see every single one who wants to become a mentor. They are currently taking on disciples, and then you can see the online status like that. Here you can see everyone, and everyone have their own presentation. Some do, some do not. So here you can kind of sift through those who seem to be more willing to take on as disciples and who seem to be experienced and all. So here you have me as well. So if you would like me to be your mentor, you go up here, you search for my name, or if you have a friend who you would like to be your mentor, you can do the same. And then you can just request discipleship. The other way to do it, if you want to chat with someone who you find, if you go in on the mentor register again here, and you take a look here, and you don't know much about the person, maybe you want to talk to them a little bit before you become a disciple, because you want to know who they are, what they like to do, what they can help you with. I mean, that's not a completely unreasonable question. So see this guy, for instance. He's been on since 2003, help you achieve your hunting mining goals. He seems like a solid dude, right? But you can't click here to write, can you? No. So what you have to do, if you want to talk to this dude, for instance, or if you would like to talk to me, for instance, you go up here, you go to user register, and you type his name, for instance. So, alright, I want to talk to Thimodius, for instance. Yeah, alright. There's only one Thimodius, so then we can just copy the link, /whisper, and say hello. And there you go. Now, the same is true if you want to talk to me before anything, so you can just write Allion, and there, either add friend or copy link. That's also one way to do it. But that's basically how you find someone specific, or just how you browse through the mentor register. Now, the other way that I recommend if you want to go to a very specific planet and graduate, say that you have been watching a lot of videos about Next Island before you decide to start playing, then you would probably want a Next Island based mentor. And the best way to find someone like that is by going into the Next Island chat. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do something here. So I'm gonna go and link all the chats in my description below, so you can just copy paste and join all the planet specific chats here. Because when you're here, you can ask, hi, I want to have a mentor who is on planet Toulon, for instance, regularly. Anyone here who wants to help me graduate, and someone would answer you. That's basically how that whole carousel goes. And that's really it for what I have to say there. Oh, I do have one disclaimer. When you have a mentor, you can open the system here and open the mentoring tab. And here you're not going to have disciples, you're going to have mentoring, and it's going to show the achievements and your progress. And you're also going to have these. What this means is that you can decide to kick your mentor if you decide that they are complete douchewads and they don't do anything for you. Because we're going to come into this on the next chapter here about what I think a good mentor should offer you. And the same is true for the mentor. They can kick you if they decide that you don't do enough, for instance. But that's why I recommend talking to the person before. Tell them what you want, what you're aiming for. Are you gonna deposit? Are you gonna play free to play? It's good to know these things so they can help you to the best of their abilities. So that's that for how you find a mentor. Now another heads up is that you should be aware that if you decide to kick your mentor, or if you yourself get kicked by your mentor, you will lose whatever disciple progress you have done so far. Alright, so when it comes to what I think you should have as an expectation on your mentor, now I'm speaking of the expectations I think you can easily have on me, it's that you should be able to communicate with me. What that means is that you should be able to speak English or Swedish. Because otherwise, if you were, say, a Spanish speaker, or if you were a Russian speaker or Polish speaker, I would not be able to understand you without using a translator service. And that would greatly diminish the communication capabilities we would have because of misinterpretations and such. However, one thing I find ridiculously important is that your mentor is actually willing to communicate with you. Because if you have a mentor who does not reply to you, that's not a mentor, that is a player who's trying to exploit the mentoring program to gain free stuff. So that's basically the number one rule I have, that I want to be able to communicate with you. And I hope that that's a criteria you have on me as well. Now, on the second kind of point, I want to point out that I think you should expect a certain level of curiosity from your mentor. Now, that does not mean that he wants to pry in your private life or personal stuff, unless you both do talk about those things. I'm talking about the basic level of checking in and seeing, how are you doing in this game? How's it going? Has it popped up any questions? Is it something you're curious about? Because I'm gonna be honest, curiosity has led me to find a number of new things by talking and discussing ideas with my disciples. So that's something that you can expect from me, is that I want to be curious about how's it going for you and your thoughts and ideas. And I think that's a really good cornerstone for any mentor, really. Now, when it comes to the third point I want to bring up, it's that you should expect your mentor to have some patience with you. Because after all, you're new to the game. You don't know how everything works. Something that is basic to the mentor might be confusing to you. Alright? So, if you have a question, I think that you should at least expect the mentor to be able to, if not answer directly, then they should be able to guide your attention to where you can find that information. So that's point number 3. Now, if we take a look at what I think a mentor can expect from their disciples, it's that first things first, if you do have a goal, because not everyone do. Some people go in and go like, hey, I just want to try the game, alright? I want to see what's out there. That's for some people. Some people know that I want to hunt robots. I want to hunt Aatrox, or I want to hunt this and that. And you don't say anything, because if you do not communicate your goals to us as mentors, we can't help you on the road. We can just give you general information and hope that something sticks and that something is to your appeal. But if you have a specific kind of wish or request, go ahead and tell your mentor, because otherwise they won't know. And that is for the first kind of expectation I have as a mentor on you as a disciple. Tell me what you want to do if you have something specific in mind. Now, the second thing that I think that a mentor can expect from you is that they should be able to expect you to ask questions if you have any. Because if you go about and you don't find anything and the mentor is unaware of this, then he can't help you or she can't help you. So I expect my disciples to ask me if there is anything, because the entire reason why we have mentor rewards is because we are supposed to take time to help you guys get introduced to the game. And more importantly, help you grow in the game, because that's what we do. We're supposed to help each other. So that's for point number 2. Just ask if you can find something and allow me to help you, or allow your mentor to help you. And when it comes to the third and final point, I want to stress on what I have as an expectation of my disciple is that if you decide to take a break, let me know. And if you decide to quit, let me know why. Because I want to know what people do to stay in the game, and I want to know what makes people leave. Because if we were to find more people who wanted to stay and find the ways that they do stay, that would be great for the community. Now, if you just up and quit, I will have a list of 20 disciples who have been offline for 100+ days, and I have not got the faintest idea about what your intentions are if you're ever coming back. Now, that's the final point. So to summarize, 1. Communicate your goals. 2. Ask if you have questions. And 3. Let me know if you intend to quit. And that's really all the expectations I have on my disciples. Now, out of curiosity, I want to know, these were my personal opinions on what I expect to give my disciples and what I expect to get from my disciples. Now, did these co-align with your own values and thoughts about the mentoring program? Or did you as a disciple have a different view on what you expected from a mentor? And was it something that was not in this video? Please do put a comment down below, because, I mean, we all want to know what we can do to help you guys. So just put a comment on that down below here. And let's continue with the next chapter, shall we? Alright, so let's go ahead and talk about why you mentor. And as you can see here, this is one of my previous disciples, Verte, who was just now getting done with his crafting achievement when he was here on Arcadia Moon. And as you'll see here, I have my hunter glove, and thigh guards in the inventory, and it takes a little while before everything registers. But there you go. He is now mentor ready and he graduated. Now, what he got here on Arcadia Moon is obviously the Musca adjusted armor set. So as you can see in all this glory here in a second. Now here you have it, and that is the Musca adjusted armor set from Arcadia, Arcadia Moon and Arcadia Underground. So the thing with getting an entire armor set and why this is so very important is that you get the entire protection on every part of your body. Because up here in this video right on the top screen, I explain why you want all the 7 pieces and not just a few pieces. So do take a look at that one up here if you wonder how armor works. Anyhow, here are some of the rewards you can get as a mentor. Now, one thing that's kind of interesting to note about these kind of rewards is that the only one of the weapons who is not requiring 100 of the hit and damage profession are actually the Mind Force chip, or should I say chips, because there are multiple of them, but only one I could find a link to. But here's the rest of the armors, and so far I've only seen the Hunter armor and the Gremlin armor. But apart from that, there are plenty of different weapons and such that you can come across if you manage to get your disciples to graduate. And if you as a disciple want to get these as well, you can either try and buy them off the auction house, or you yourself can help others once you have graduated. Because during your time as a disciple, you might have gained insight in some things that you wish your mentor gave you that you want to pass on to others, which is actually the reason why this channel came to be in the first place. So that's it for the mentor rewards. Now let's take a look at the armors. Alright, and to those of you who have watched this far, I really want to say thanks for watching, thanks for taking your time, and I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video come together. So with that said, I hope you guys have a really good day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, folks.